Everyone, thanks for joining us tonight for News 4 at 6. I'm Matt Breen.
And I'm Jessica Bowman. Parents, how many days of school has your student missed so far this school year? Well, there's a new chronic absenteeism law in Iowa, which requires all school districts to identify students who have missed 10% of a grading period.
KTIV's Taylor Deckert has more from Sioux City's schools on how missed school days can impact the student and the family.
They are in a panic on how they're going to manage it.
A shakeup for all public Iowa schools. A new attendance policy was put in place. Chronic absenteeism. It's not only strict on the student, but also for the family.
What does it mean to be chronically absent? It's when a student misses a large percent of school days. There are new thresholds. For Sioux City Community Schools, 10% is 9 days, 15% is 13 days, and 20% equates to 20 days per semester. There's no longer a distinction between excused and unexcused absences. Everything counts.
As a courtesy, Sioux City Community Schools added an earlier notice at 4 days when a student is halfway through their allotted missed days, trying to stop students before becoming chronically absent.
This law is real.
The first threshold, 10% of school days missed in a semester, the district is required to report it to the county attorney. Once the 15% threshold is reached, the district is required to create an action plan to prevent any further absences.
Once we hit 20 days, which is 20% attendance, 20% of missing school in a grading period, they're considered truant by law.
Woodbury County Attorney James Loomis said to us in part, our office will review for charges, and if approved for charges, meaning the parent is in violation of the law, a warrant would be issued for the parent's arrest.
Well, I think it's completely ridiculous. If your child is sick, your child is sick.
James Sturgeon is a concerned parent and says it's a strict policy to follow. He first heard of the policy via email after the school year had already started.
They ought to leave parenting to the parents. I'm sure the reason they did that is that there are students out there that are abusing the policy, the absentee policy. Well, you need to go after those students and punish those students. Don't round up everybody in the same category.
Bemis adds that they will work alongside the families, identifying why the student is missing so much school.
So if they were sick, we just work. If it was one long illness, we just say the plan might just be about that. We'll check up with you. We'll make sure that is there any health supports we can, set your family up with. If they are missing school because of transportation, it allows us to identify, we need to maybe help the family with transportation.
I just wish the state would leave us to raise our children.
In Sioux City, Taylor Deckert, KTIV News 4.
The school districts will have a more accurate measure of chronic absenteeism rate after the state certified count day, which will happen October 1st. Now, there are exemptions within this policy. Let's break it down for you. If a student has completed the requirements for graduation or obtained an equivalent to a high school diploma, if the student is excused for reason by any court of record or judge, if the student is attending religious services or receiving religious instructions, if the student is unable to attend school due to a legitimate medical reason, an individualized education program that affects the student's attendance, and a Section 504 plan under the Federal Rehabilitation Act that affects the student's attendance.